One.
This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of Phatts TV, sanctioned by PA Phatts and the non-genetically proven son. Any and all words have been authorized during the show. There is nothing off limits. Nobody is restricted from watching and participating in the show. It is a free-for-all. Commencing at the siren, any and all discussions will be legal for an extended period of time. Sports, politics, and any and all controversial topics will be talked about. You have been warned. May God be with us all.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Phatts TV on this Tuesday night, October the 13th. Joining me from his underground bunker. What are you, about 6 floors underground there?
16.
16? Oh, this is the non-genetically proven child.
Wow, echoey. Good job.
What?
You're not echoey. Good job.
Hey, I'm learning. But
First try.
But you know what? As our intro was playing, I'm watching the little light go from green to yellow to red to yellow to green to yellow to red to green to yellow. It kept bouncing from all three colors.
Oh boy.
And then at some point it got green and it's been green ever since. So hopefully the internet decides that it wants to work. So speaking of October 13th, isn't today your sister's birthday?
You ask me? I'm supposed to know?
Well, I wouldn't know.
Okay. I don't even know how old my sister is. 10?
I don't know. She's not mine.
Like 9 or 10.
I think she might 10 or 11. Well,
Like, I was 9 when she was born?
yeah, that might be about right. She might be she's either 10 or 11, I would say.
No.
I'm trying to think when.
She left when I was, what, 8?
No.
7.
Oh, wait. No. Wait. No, she's probably
She's like 9.
10. Yeah, she's either 9 or 10. Yeah.
Dude, I was not like 9 years old when she was born.
But anyway, I digress. So our message board is up and operational should anybody wish to chime in. So I got a message earlier today that the vice president is coming to the airport in the county that we live in Saturday
Yeah.
at noonish or 12:30ish. He's going to be appearing.
Yeah.
Interesting story about the airport in the county that I live in.
Yeah.
Back in the 1600s, so a long time ago, and the 1700s, that land used to belong to us. Yes. How about that?
How about that?
And then
Hosting the vice president.
yes,
But, oh!
that could be our airport.
But he had to have no children, no wife, so he gave it to his damn insurance company.
Yes.
No, we could be living in that mansion, have all this land, and an airport. be rich, but no.
Yes. Yes. So if any of you guys who live around me or know where I live, if you want to go see the vice president Saturday morning, just you could be standing there saying, this land could have belonged to PA Phatts. Now I start it back up. So hopefully the choppiness goes away with this. At the moment it says we're green, so let's hope it stays green. It stays green. Because we got a lot of important stuff to talk about tonight. With the election just 3 weeks away.
Wow.
3
We're the
weeks.
ultimate jury.
Yes.
Really.
Yes. Don't forget, we will be broadcasting live all election night starting at 5 o'clock. So feel free to join us. Have whatever you want on your TV, but make sure your computer is tuned to Phatts TV. Hopefully we won't have any internet issues that night. Hopefully. Hopefully. But we'll see. I don't know why the internet, it's been acting funny like for the last week and a half out this way. I don't know what they're doing.
I mean, that just sucks.
So, yesterday started the hearings for a Supreme Court nomination of Amy Coney Barrett.
Yeah.
And yesterday was just kind of all the senators had a chance to speak for a few minutes. There was no questions asked of the nominee. It was just opening statements, and she got to say an opening statement too. But one senator in particular, in my mind, made an embarrassment of themselves yesterday.
You would have watched the entire hearing.
And I watched all of it today until I had to get ready for the show to come on.
Of course you did.
Hey, if somebody else doesn't watch, I gotta watch it so you guys could stay informed. You know,
would watch it regardless.
You're probably right.
Her getting approved is essential.
Yes, but anyway, so that senator who ran for president is named Cory Booker. And why do I say he made an embarrassment of himself yesterday?
I don't know.
Well, basically, all the Democrats, yes, I know, Christine, it's going in and out. Hopefully it's fixed now. It says I have an excellent connection on YouTube right now. So, for some reason, all the Democrats wanted to talk about the Obamacare. Because a week after the election, there's supposed to be a case in front of the Supreme Court that may get rid of Obamacare. So, every single Democratic senator put up a chart of different people who may lose their insurance if Obamacare gets eliminated. But at the end of Cory Booker's statement, he concluded it with saying, and I am not voting for your nomination. Or he's basically, I'm voting no for your nomination.
Okay.
There has been no questions asked. None at this point. Obviously, I'm not stupid enough to know that all the Republicans are going to say yes to support the nomination out of committee. And all the Democrats are going to say no. You already know that ahead of time. But to come out and publicly say that, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Especially before there's been one question asked.
Yeah.
Can't be doing that kind of stuff. In my opinion. But that's just my opinion. So, I don't know what you guys think about that.
We'll see what Joe Biden says. He's running for the Senate.
Yes, Joe Biden is running for the Senate again. He said it himself. again yesterday.
Oh God, I've seen more Biden signs. Ooh.
You know what?
This up here is a Biden.
There is now a Biden sign at the end of this block.
Oh.
Yeah.
Every house has one up here.
There's a Trump flag hanging across the street from our house. So.
It was my house to be a Trump flag hanging out on
Yes.
the bars.
Well, how come your flag's not hanging outside?
I think our window would be shut. We do live on a main road.
Yeah, you do. But do you face the front or the back?
The front.
The front. There you go.
Yeah, so everyone would see it.
If they're looking up.
Door.
If they're looking up. So, the other day on Facebook, I wrote this big long post about...
You write a lot of posts every day.
I do.
You need to be more specific.
I wrote a big long post about populism. Do you remember that one? Did you read that one?
I read all your posts.
Well, that's good.
I like just about them all, too, as well.
That's good.
Now, back in the courts, Joe Biden still won't answer that question.
That's true.
Every morning.
Actually, he did come out yesterday and say, I'm against the idea or something like that. But that's still not answering the question whether he's going to do it or not.
Of course he's going to do it.
Well, he's gonna be pushed in that direction to do it, whether or not. See, he's in a no-win situation. If he says yes, he's gonna do it. He loses the middle. If he says no, he's not gonna do it. He loses the left. Yeah. So he's in a no-win situation there.
I know one of my run faces this time. If you remember that conversation.
Yes. So, in the history of the United States, going back to all the way to George Washington, we've only had 2 presidents that you could consider populists. And what do you know, they just so happen to be my 2 favorite presidents.
Donald Trump.
Do you?
And,
if you know it, raise your hand and shout it out loud. Andrew Jackson. Which
Donald Trump has a picture of him in the Oval Office.
Donald Trump did. Obviously, every president has their portrait. Some of them are somewhere in the White House. Some of them are in storage. Some of them could probably get burned. But when Trump took office, he had the portrait of Andrew Jackson moved into the Oval Office. Because according, Donald Trump sees himself as a populist. So what exactly is a populist?
All right, English class.
I actually typed this out. Hopefully there's no spelling errors. A populist is a person, especially a politician, who strives to appeal to ordinary people who feel they are disregarded by established elite groups. I would think that fits the definition of Donald Trump.
Yeah?
I mean, you can't really call Donald Trump a political elitist. You could
Rod's royal portrait in the castle.
You could kind of say he's a business elitist, but we're not talking about that right now.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know about Andrew Jackson ran for president in 1824. Long time ago. I was like a teenager back in 1824.
Oh.
Yeah. But anyway, he got the most popular votes, but he did not get the plurality of the electoral votes. So similar to how the Electoral College works today, if you don't get to 270, if neither candidate gets to 270, the election goes to the House of Representatives. That's what happened in the election of 1824. And for lack of a better term, he got screwed out of the presidency. Big time. Because not too many people in the Congress, he was, I believe, a senator at the time, not too many people in Congress liked Andrew Jackson. So they voted for his opponent, John Quincy Adams. For those of you who don't know who John Quincy Adams is, he was the son of our second president, John Adams. Did you know that?
No, actually.
Well, you learned something new today.
No, we only ever had one father's son as president.
No, we've had two. I'm assuming they're genetically proven. But
probably.
Besides that, I wasn't in my studies of the presidents. I'm definitely not a fan of John Adams. I'm definitely not a fan of John Quincy Adams. They were Federalists, as most of the early presidents were. They were what would be known today as the elites. Back then, the election, up until the election of 1824, the election of 1824 was the last election where basically you had to be a white landowner to vote. That changed with the election of 1828. You did not have to be a landowner to vote. You still had to be a white, you still had to be male, be that as it may. So Jackson ran basically a 4-year campaign to be elected president. And he appealed to the common man to get him elected. And he was rewarded that way when he got he won the election of 1828 by a lot. He won the election of 1832 by a lot more. Because he was well liked. Because his issues were for the common man. To be a populist, you basically have to be almost a libertarian. Like, a lot of people today want to say Bernie Sanders is a populist. No, Bernie Sanders is not a populist. He may say he's for the common man, but he's not for the common man. Bernie Sanders is still an elitist. What is the number one thing elitists want?
Power.
Exactly. You could tell you really did read my post. The elitists' first and foremost thing that they will ever want is power. So the elitist does whatever it needs to do to stay in charge. That's why a lot of people consider Bernie a populist, because he's going to give free this, free that, free this, free that. Free healthcare, free college, free, prostitutes every third Thursday of the month. I have no idea what else he wants for free. But that's his shtick. Problem is, that's not what populism is. Andrew Jackson, on the other hand, he did not renew the charter of the Bank of the United States. He felt it was a monopoly. He felt that it supported too many elites and those who were in big business at the time. So he did not renew the charter of the bank. He did several other things as well to break up big business, big government, and give it to the common man. Another difference between why Bernie Sanders is not a populist and people like Andrew Jackson and Donald Trump is because populists want very limited federal government. Extremely limited federal government. Obviously, we know Bernie Sanders wants big government, huge government.
Right.
Populists would rather state and local governments be big and the federal government be small. Basically, you could sort of say that populism started with Thomas Jefferson. But he was still an elitist. He owned land, Declaration of Independence. He was still an elitist. But at least his thinking was along the lines of populism.
Right.
So Christine says, what makes an elitist? Money and power, real or imagined, or something else? Well, yes, money and power, and not just power as in you are control of the government. Basically, if you live in D.C. or work in D.C. is a better way to say it, you're an elitist. The media personnel are elitists. They work hand in hand with the government to get out the government's message, basically, anymore. There used to be a time where the media was not like that. The media would have been more like what common men were like. They're not like that anymore. Interestingly enough, Andrew Jackson, his quote-unquote political party was Democrat. He was basically the first Democrat president. So you can see what's kind of happened to the Democrat Party from the 1800s through the 1900s through the 2000s. How they've basically flipped. Republicans used to obviously be the party of big business. Today, they're really not anymore. They're becoming the party of the common man. They're broadening their tent. How many, the Republican Party, you don't hear them talk about how bad gay marriage is, for example, anymore. Republicans basically support gay marriage, more or less. Now, obviously, there's some that don't, but more or less, it's accepted anymore in society. So yes, money and power is what makes an elitist. You guys know I rail constantly against those that are in the Lincoln Project. The Lincoln Project are a bunch of assholes. The people what is the Lincoln Project? It's basically made up of Republicans, not conservatives. They may think they're conservatives. They're not conservatives. They are Republicans. Rhinos, to say the least, Republicans in name only, who are not supporting President Trump. Why would a Republican not support the president? Question mark.
They don't like him. Stinge of 4 years ago.
To some extent, they don't like him, but why don't they like him?
Because he's not an elitist.
He's not an elitist. These are rhinos, if you notice, and we could start naming, I could name, 100 rhinos. They're all elitists. Nobody from the Lincoln Project is in government, but they're all associated with people in government. They all derive their money from government, whether it be in the media or other type of business. They need the government to stay in power. Remember, in 2016, what was the thing that everybody liked about Donald Trump, those who were voting for him? He was going to drain the swamp. Remember that?
Yeah.
Elites don't like that. Elites don't want their power taken away. Just as I was saying that, I looked down and Christine basically said the same thing. Taking their power away. So yes. So when you hear all these Republicans that aren't for Trump, Republicans, my ex-hero, John Kasich, Cindy McCain, wife of former Senator John McCain, the idiots on the Lincoln Project, what's his name, the guy that's he publishes a magazine, his name will come to me. They're all elitists. Every single one of them is an elitist, and that's why they're against the president. They want their power. And yes, there are certainly Democrat elitists, and there are Republican elitists. Most of the time, those are our choices for president. Let's face it. We either vote for this elitist or this elitist.
Yeah.
To my knowledge, there's only ever been 3 populists on a ticket. and 2 of them have won. The one that lost being William Jennings Bryan back in the late 1800s, early 1900s. Late 1800s, I believe. He was a populist, and one day we could go in and talk about him. But his message was squashed pretty good by the political machine, more or less. He was a Democrat too, I believe. He was. So that's why they don't like Trump. They don't want to lose their power. Their power is the most important thing they will ever have. It's kind of like Lord of the Rings with precious, had to have that ring.
Right.
Power is the elite's precious. They can't give it up. Plus, the vast majority of them will be in jail. What did I write in that very long post? That if we uncover what the people in Washington do, it would make the French Revolution look like a child's birthday party.
Right.
There is no doubt in my mind, probably 70% of them belong in jail.
Yeah.
And that's both Democrat and Republican elitists. What's your opinion there, non-genetically proven son? You're being pretty quiet here.
I'm listening. I'm taking it all in.
And you're learning. Yes, I get it.
We're learning.
You're learning. So, what's your opinion on all of this?
On what exactly?
On what I'm saying.
Interesting, that's for sure.
Yeah.
You make a good point.
Well, yeah, that's why I am who I am.
All of 5% of people will listen to you because...
Well, we are going up against a lot of things right now. I wasn't...
Or the millennials thing you do with that...
I mean, we're going up against a football game, the Comey hearing, or Amy Coney Barrett hearings, and President Trump's rally out in Johnstown right now. Yes. Yes, he's out in Johnstown, probably right now giving his speech.
It's an interesting place to go as, that's a big red place.
Yeah.
Why don't you go towards Philly, big guy?
He might not make it out alive.
Oh, he needs to carry some of that vote over there.
Typically, a Republican gets 20% of the vote in that area.
He needs to win, you would hope, the black vote. That's what it's down to, is the black vote.
He's certainly going to get a lot more. But what he has to make sure more than anything is that nobody from his base stays home on Election Day. He's got to make sure they all get out to vote. Whether it's vote by mail or, like me, I will crawl over broken glass naked to get to a voting. Don't picture that. I know a lot of you are laughing right about now. I will do whatever it takes to get to the poll this year. Without a doubt.
I'll be going to the poll.
I know you will. You got your card this week from moving.
I do.
Yes. So, speaking of the election, polling. As we know, polls suck.
Yeah, slightly.
There was a poll out... There's a poll out today that has Biden up 17 points.
In Pennsylvania?
No.
Nationwide?
Nationwide.
That's more than they had Hillary on.
I mean, 17 points is like how much Reagan beat Mondale by.
When he won 49 states.
When he won 49 states. He lost Minnesota and the District of Columbia. Obviously, Biden is not up 17. I went into the guts of the poll. In the guts of the poll, it shows Biden up by 12% among men. No. Sorry, you're lying. You're lying. Trump is carrying men. I've never seen a poll in my life where he wasn't carrying the male vote. But a good place if you actually want to look at these polls is a website called Real Clear Politics. I've been looking at Real Clear Politics ever since I've gotten on the internet, basically. A couple decades ago. They'll take all the polls they could find and put them on their page so people could see them and compare things. So they're looking at the polls for the battleground states. And as of the weekend, Biden had, on average, a 4.5 point lead in the battleground states. So we're talking Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Wisconsin, Michigan, Florida. I think they threw Arizona in there as well, maybe. So he had a 4.5 point lead. At the same time, 4 years ago, Hillary had a 5 point lead. Read into that any way you want. I'm going to tell you this right now. Trump will carry Florida. Trump will carry North Carolina. Trump is going to carry the great state of Minnesota.
I was just about to say that. He's going to carry Minnesota.
Republican hasn't carried Minnesota since the 60s or the 70s. Trump is carrying it this year. He lost by 44,000 votes, I think it was, to Hillary. And with everything that's going on up there this year, he's carrying Minnesota. He thinks he's very competitive in Nevada. Now, he didn't lose Nevada by all that much last time. I don't know how competitive he is. People think there's a chance he's going to lose Texas. He's not losing Texas. People think there's a chance he's going to lose Georgia. He's not losing Georgia. It just ain't happening. They're saying they had a record turnout for first day voting ever. And they showed a video of this huge line. It stretched for like 3 blocks of people who wanted to vote. Well, yeah, it stretched for 3 blocks because everybody had to be 6 to 8 feet apart from each other.
Right.
I mean, there's not that many people in a 3-block radius if you got to be 6, 8, 10 feet apart from each other.
I saw a poll where they put Montana as a battleground state.
Montana's not a battleground state.
I thought that was funny. They like Montana as a battleground. They had one other one out there. I was like, huh? Yeah, okay. Yeah, Montana is going to go blue.
Montana's not going
blue. That's blue.
That ain't happening. Your crazy Aunt Roz is chiming in saying, I thought you would have been there. Where's there?
Oh, Johnstown, probably.
Oh, well, it's a possibility.
Not far.
That's
like driving to Harrisburg, isn't it?
No, Johnstown, no.
That's South Altoona.
How long did it take us to get to Altoona? 3 hours.
Yeah.
Well.
I'm west of Harrisburg.
Oh, for you? I thought you were talking about for me.
Yeah, for me. Actually, I would have to take 90 or 99.
99.
And then down. Oh, it would be still a long drive. It'd be a long town.
Yes, because Johnstown is, still southwest of Altoona.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, for me, it's only like an hour and a half.
Yes. No, I'm hoping sometime in the next 3 weeks Trump comes, either to Harrisburg again or somewhere around where I could go see him again. That would be an experience. One more time. I would get there earlier so I could get a seat this time because that would be better.
Get a chair, bring chargers.
Then I'll be a lot more energetic. Standing for 8 hours before he spoke got a little tiring.
So you weren't really cheering a whole lot.
No, my feet really hurt. I will say that. But the energy was incredible. They were estimating he had between 20 and 25,000 people last night in Florida.
I watched that rally too.
And he kept it to an hour. That was a little surprising.
There was a shorter one.
Yes. But he seemed to have a lot of energy last night.
Yeah.
He did. I like the part where when he was talking about the fake news again, and he laughed this time when he called he laughed just like I did. He gave this chuckle as he was talking about the fake news.
And then he's like, show them. He's like, they're not going to show.
Of course, RBN network does, Right Side Broadcasting, our RSB network. They pan the audience. That's where I watch all my rallies. Like, I don't watch them on Fox because Fox breaks in too many. You can watch them on C-SPAN. C-SPAN carries them. But I watch mine, and OAN carries them. But I watch mine on Right Side Broadcasting on, usually their Twitter feed carries it, or they have their own YouTube channel. They carry them. They're excellent at what they do, and they will span the crowd the entire time. Trump looks really good tonight. Yes, I will go back and watch it after we get done here, which should be done here in less than 10 minutes. And I will get a chance to go back and watch it from the beginning. But I want to stress again, where are you guys going to be on election night? Bueller?
Watching
Bueller?
Phatts TV.
Make sure you are here. Why do you want to be here?
Because we will have minute-to-minute breakdown of each county in the battleground states.
Wow. That was impressive. It's almost like you got paid to say that, or you had it like pre-written down.
No.
Or something. Yes. I, and in turn, the non-genetically proven son.
Intern now? What?
Intern. INTURN. Not intern. 2 words. Okay. We know what counties to look at. Like, as I said before, Philadelphia County and the 4 counties that touch it, typically the Republican receives 20% of the vote. So I'll be looking at those counties to see, is he getting 20% of the vote? Is he getting more? Is he getting less? Is those 5 counties making up about 28% of the total of Pennsylvania like they typically do? I'll be looking to see in the county we live in how many he's winning by. He's going to win our county. Schuylkill County is going to interest me. He carried Schuylkill County by like 43% last time or something like that. Huge. Huge. Be interesting to see if he carries it by that much this upcoming time. That'll be very interesting. Because a friend of mine told me that there's a lot of Biden signs up in Schuylkill County. I had another friend tell me just a couple days ago, who knows this friend, we're all friends. He goes, I don't know what he's talking about. I don't see any Biden signs. I see a ton of Trump signs up here. So, I'll be looking at York County.
I rarely see Trump signs. I want to print out little communist, like little flags.
Yes.
And, like, put them on a stick and post them next to every single one. Be like, communist, communist, communist.
Yes.
You support Stalin.
I will be very interested to see how they're doing up in Lackawanna County. Not because I was born and raised in Lackawanna County, but so was Biden.
I was just about to say that. What about, we should probably look at what the Scranton area is doing.
Yes. The Democrats usually carry Lackawanna County, but Hillary only carried it by 1.5%, I believe, 4 years ago. So it'll be interesting to see. Now, to let you know how Pennsylvania goes historically.
The T.
Well, yes. But the early results come in typically that'll favor the Democrats. And then for like 3 or 4 hours, the Republicans will get closer and closer and closer, hopefully take the lead. And then the last that reports is Democrats again. So hopefully he builds 100,000 vote or so lead about coming towards the end of the count in Pennsylvania, because then you know he's safe. Now, statistics show that the margin between Democrat and Republican voters in the state are shrinking, which is good. So that obviously means more people are registering as Republicans. I don't think you're going to register as a Republican and vote for Biden. That doesn't make any sense.
No.
Yeah.
You have to register in a socialist party to vote for Biden.
Be interested to see what happens in Ohio. I keep talking about Ohio.
Ohio.
If Trump loses Ohio, he has no chance of winning. None. You could call it a night right then and there. He won Ohio by 8.5% 4 years ago. So it'll be interesting to see how he's comparing. If he wins Ohio by 2, I think he's in trouble. If he wins it by 8.5 again, he's fine.
Biden isn't campaigning there at all.
He actually was there yesterday.
I meant like commercials.
No, right. And I was just going to get to that point. There was a poll out over the weekend that Biden had a 10-point lead in Pennsylvania and he was up by 1 in Ohio. How do we know that's not true? Just look at where their ad spending is, for those of you that weren't watching the show on Thursday.
A lot of Pennsylvania.
You should be watching the show all the time that's on. And if you miss it, you should go back and rewatch it. In fact, you should probably go back to the beginning and rewatch them all. Anyway. Yes. Supposedly, he's not doing any or next to no ad buys in Ohio. And as you know, if you watch TV or watch any ad on the internet, it's Biden, 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 Biden.
Yeah. Every now and then you'll see a Trump one, but it's like 6-1.
Yes. And it's like every third commercial is a Biden commercial. At least the channels I watch. Now.
I'd say 3 or 4 out of 5 is a Biden one.
Yes. Now, use your common sense, which I know everybody who watches this show has. Of course you do. You watch me. You have to have common sense. If he's up by 10, why is he spending commercial ad money in Pennsylvania? And if he's up by 1 in Ohio, why isn't he not buying any ad time in Ohio? That just makes absolutely zero sense.
He thinks Ohio's the last cause and Pennsylvania's close. So
right, exactly. That's why you don't believe polls.
But Trump is confident about Pennsylvania.
Those are the polls you do believe that you don't find out about. The actual internal polls that the campaigns do, those are the ones that you do believe, but they never get released. Only the campaigns see them. And yes,
Trump must think he's up by probably 3 or 4 in Pennsylvania.
We'll see. We'll see. I don't think he's up by that many. I think he's up. I think he'll win. I think he wins probably.
Minnesota, Florida, Michigan, Arizona. He doesn't need Pennsylvania.
If he wins all the states that he won last time and loses Pennsylvania, he still wins.
And then he picks up Minnesota.
Well, yeah. Then he only has like 10 electoral votes less than he had last time.
Yeah.
But even if he just wins the states he won last time and loses Pennsylvania, he still wins.
Yeah.
But
I'd be more worried about him probably losing Michigan.
Right. I think it's hard for him to lose Pennsylvania and win Michigan or win Wisconsin. That's a little tough for me.
Yeah.
If he loses Pennsylvania, loses Michigan, that's 33, and then picks up Minnesota, which would be weird. He would lose Michigan and win Minnesota, would be very weird, but it can happen. He wins with that.
Did he win North Carolina last time?
Yes, and he's going to win North Carolina again. I think he wins North Carolina by a bigger margin this year. Senator
John Kennedy is actually asking ACB questions about SCOTUS refreshing.
Yes, because he's a senator from Louisiana. They're on the second to last person who's asking her questions tonight. They go basically in order on how long they've been on the committee, except for Grassley, who used to be the chairman, is no longer the chairman because he didn't want to be. So Lindsey Graham is now the chairman. One of the things that I think is going to help Trump in North Carolina is what's going on with the Senate race in North Carolina. With the revelations that the Democratic candidate has been cheating on his wife. He's admitted to it twice. That's going to hurt in North Carolina. I think that keeps some people home. Personally. North Carolina in the South, they don't really like that kind of stuff down there. No. It's not quite as acceptable as it is in the North. It shouldn't be acceptable anywhere, to be honest, but it is. But it is, but it is, but it is. Yes. So, once again, I'm going to pound it in your heads. You want to be here on election night. Also, if you would like to be on the show, we could bring you onto the show. I'll have to figure out how to get you and my kid on the show at the same time. That might be a little tough. There's a way to do it. I just don't know how to do it. I actually have a meeting scheduled with the IT people at Wirecast. That's the program that we use for this. I'm meeting with them on the phone Friday afternoon at 5 o'clock, right when I get done with work. So,
Kiana said she wants to be on the show.
hey, she can be on the show whenever she wants. Speaking of Kiana, I know she's not political, but her senator from Hawaii is like whacked out. She really is whacked. Listening to her question Judge Barrett today was just... Barrett is a constitutionalist, an originalist. You go by the words of the Constitution. Obviously, she's replacing Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who was a progressive. They think the Constitution is living, that it changes with the times. And she's trying to get Barrett to pin down that she's going to rule in cases the same way. Now, Amy Coney Barrett, when you're taking these questions, you can't answer how you're going to rule on certain cases in the future. You just can't do that. They've been trying to do this for 30 years for senators to get people to answer that question, and they can't answer it. And every Democrat is trying to ask that question. What do you think about abortion? What are you going to do with this Obamacare? Are you going to vote against it? If the election goes to the Supreme Court, how are you going to rule? She can't tell you. She just can't. It's against the code of ethics for a judge. If she were to tell you, let's just say it would work in the way of the Democrats. Suppose again, we'll use Cory Booker because he embarrassed himself. If he were to ask Judge Barrett if the election goes to the Supreme Court, how are you going to rule? Of course, people would assume she would rule on the side of the conservatives. But let's just say she didn't. Let's just say she were to say, "Oh, I don't think the court should step in at all, so I would rule against it." Let's just say she said that. She would have to recuse herself. She would have no choice. She would have to recuse herself if that case comes before the court. She may have to recuse herself anyway. One of the things I learned today is the recusal process for judges on the Supreme Court. And one of the major factors is talking to the other judges. You consult with the other judges. So even if she said, she can't even say, "I'm going to recuse myself," because she has to talk to the other judges.
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know. I am glad that one part I did miss because we were doing the show is Senator Harris's questioning, because I'm sure they were just over the top, completely out of bounds.
Probably.
I would guess. Yes, you do need to bring food. Absolutely. Absolutely, you need to bring food. If my sister's coming down, what kind of pizza I like. Someone wants to pick up Chinese. For people in the area, that Chinese food over by the Giant on 724 in Sinking Spring, that was pretty good. I got some there last Friday when I was picking up somebody's bowling equipment. We won't mention any names.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah, that Chinese food was pretty good. So you can pick some Chinese food from there.
that one before.
Bring chocolate. Gonna need something to stay awake.
I got some Kit Kats. Would you like some Kit Kats?
Yes. Can you throw them through the screen, please? Thank you. I've been in the mood for waffles for the last couple days. Chocolate chip waffles. I'm gonna have to go to the store and get some. But anyway, before we wrap it up, I want to say one other thing that's very important. What do you
watch me throw Kit Kats at them?
Okay. I want to say one other thing that's very important. And I've never talked about this, but I want to make sure I get my point across.
Okay.
On election night, make sure you're watching Phatts TV. Never said that before. Tell your friends. Tell your lovers. Tell your exes.
Wait. I don't think my one ex is going to vote for Donald Trump since she voted for
Hillary. I don't care who she votes for. I just want her to watch Phatts TV.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. 'Cause she totally agrees with what we say.
I'm assuming your ex is a she. Not that there's anything wrong with that if it's a he, but that would be news to me.
Relax.
Hey, strange things happen when you're on a college campus. That's all I'm going to say.
Huh?
Strange things happen when you're on a college campus.
Maybe your ex is a he.
A lot of experimentation. Assuming you're my kid, you came out of my ex, so she's not a he.
I'll spread the word.
Good. Good. Very good. Spread the word. All right, ladies and gentlemen. On Thursday's show, we will probably talk a little politics again. Any news that comes out of these hearings, or if Joe Biden wants to say he's running for the House of Representatives now, or whatever else. And we will have week 6 of the Phatts Fantastic 5.
Joe Biden is the Senate.
That's right. I am the Senate. Just like he said, I am the Democratic Party. One hint on the Phatts Fantastic 5, the non-genetically proven son had another winning week. I had another losing week. After starting out 2-0.
I was 2-0 first day.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a college game.
I lost 2 of the 3 games because the team didn't want to score inside the 10 late in the game. Could have been a 4-1 week, but
well, the first week you beat me. That would have been impressive. It's funny that the better can't beat the non-better.
It's such a bad year. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Maybe every year should be like this, because I'd be up a crap ton of money if I actually bet.
You would be, but as soon as you bet, you're going to lose. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Matt said that. He's like, why don't you start betting then? I'm like, as soon as I start betting, I'm going to start betting at 25%.
Speaking of betting, so I have a free hour before I start setting up for the show. I get done working at 5, and since I work from home, obviously I'm home. There's no need to drive home. I start setting up for this show at 6. So from 5 to 6, I do whatever I want to do, which includes usually making dinner. So I got an email from Hollywood Casino today. They were adding 25% on to any deposit that you get. So I put $25 in there.
There you go.
To get an extra 6 1/4. So I played triple-double poker, video poker. Normally when I play triple-double poker, I bet $5 a hand. But because I only had $31 in there, I bet $2 a hand. Yeah.
Hit a royal flush.
4th hand, 4 aces, and a deuce. $1,000 for the $2 bet. Actually, no, I lied. I was playing $1.25 a hand. $1,000 I won for the $1.25 I bet. If I bet my normal $5, $4,000. Yeah. Yeah. No one to say how the computer works. Who knows if I would have gotten that if I was betting $5. Who knows? Who knows how it works? But yeah, that's my luck. The one time that I play for less money, I hit something big. Yeah. That's usually how it works. All right. Anything else before we go, young man? I mean, you talk so much during the show. You never shut up and let me say anything.
Oh. Hey, when we talk about politics, I'm just learning.
You are learning.
Politics.
I
watch the debate, and you get really impressed because I watch the debate.
Yep.
I watch his rallies when I see them.
Yep.
And you're just like, wow.
I'm majorly impressed that you watch the debates. Again, probably around the country of people who are 20 years of age, a grand total of 12 people probably watched it. And you were one of those 12. So, yeah, I'm very impressed that you've taken a liking to this.
Did I have a choice?
Well, it might give a clue that you might actually be my genetically, son.
Okay, let's not push it that far.
I know. The unfortunate thing is, I was talking to somebody yesterday. In my lifetime, this will probably be the only populist that'll be president. I mean, I can't imagine when, like, Mitt Romney was running or John McCain going to one of their rallies had, all the energy that it does at a Trump rally. Can't imagine that it did.
Oh, God.
Probably had a third of the energy.
It was more just people sitting and listening.
Yes. So, the rallies for Trump might be the last rallies that I attend in my life. Unless we get...
next president will be not an elitist. He'll be a populist.
I would love for a third party to grow out of this, a populist party that will bring some Democrats and some Republicans together to work for the common man. Maybe you will lead that party.
Next president of the United States.
Well, no, you're not 35. You got a little ways to go on that.
I'll be the president. Right after LeBron James.
Oh, no, he'll never be president. Maybe of China. Maybe. After watching how their ratings collapsed. Yeah. No.
Why?
Because of their political stances. Their ratings had absolutely collapsed compared to last year.
They're taking the stuff off the court next year.
Yes, that's what they say. All right, so I'm going to watch what's ever left of the rally. I'll go back to the beginning and watch it. I always like it when he says, and we're just going to keep on winning. And then when he talks about the fake news and he points. And if you need some proof that they're fake news, last night, before the rally started, on the Communist News Network, also known as CNN, Jim Acosta was doing a cut-in. Had his mask on, of course. And everybody behind him was shouting CNN sucks like they do at every rally. But about 3 minutes or so after CNN cut away, you saw there was a picture snapped of Jim Acosta without his mask on. How interesting. When he's on TV, he wears a mask. When he's not on TV, he doesn't wear a mask. Do as I say, not as I do.
All
right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have taken up too much of your time. I wanted to be done 15 minutes ago, but we went for a good hour tonight. Before you go to bed, make sure you kiss your favorite populist. And we will see you. I'm watching your facial reaction to that. We will see you Thursday night. And remember, where we go one,
we go all.
Hey, at least you said it normally this time.
All right.
See ya.